explaining why a buyer agency is important to your clients can be really tricky. It's a complicated concept, and really the best explanation that I found for what a buyer agency is and why it's a benefit to your client is an article that one of our agents brought to my attention. So I'm just going to read it to you quickly. In most Wisconsin residential real estate transactions, there is a listing agent and a buyer's agent. The listing agent represents the seller. They're trying to get the highest possible price. They are protecting the seller's best interests. They are working for the seller. The buyer's agent represents the buyer. They are trying to get the lowest possible price. They are protecting the buyer's best interests. They are working for the buyer. If you are involved in a Wisconsin residential real estate transaction and you have not signed a buyer agency agreement, then you do not have anyone looking out for you. By signing a buyer agency agreement, you are promoted from being that agent's customer to their client. The privileges of being a client include receiving information and advice from your agent, enabling the agent to negotiate on your behalf, and forcing the agent to work with your best interests in mind. As a buyer, you typically will not need to pay anything to work with a buyer's agent. About 95% of sellers hire a listing broker to assist with the sale of their home. The listing broker will share their commission with the realtor that brings them a buyer. It is a prearranged agreement between brokers. Because of this, the buyer can benefit from the services of a buyer's agent but not have to pay anything. To avoid complications, the buyer should work with a buyer's agent from the beginning of their house search and always contact their buyer's agent for everything concerning their house search. Not only does this avoid commission complications, but it's also very beneficial for the buyer to have a buyer's agent. There is a myth that having a buyer's agent will increase the purchase price. When a seller has their property listed with a real estate broker, they typically have agreed to pay a certain percent commission upon the sale of their property. So often the commission is already set in stone, whether or not the buyer has a buyer's agent. A buyer's agent will do a number of things for you. First, they'll send listings as soon as they're added to the MLS. You'll receive emails of all newly listed properties that fit your search criteria. Second, they'll set up showings for properties that you want to view. Your buyer's agent will set up the showing, view the property with you, and answer all your questions. Third, a buyer's agent will represent you and be loyal to you. Your agent will go over all contract paperwork with you and negotiate on your behalf for the lowest possible price. Fourth, the buyer's agent will oversee the contract to close, period. Your agent will make sure that all contingencies are met, that you are protected, and that your best interests are served. Finally, the buyer's agent will be the first to congratulate you on your new home. Your buyer's agent will attend closing with you and be there to solve any potential problems. As you can see, this article just describes perfectly what a buyer's agent can do for a client, and also the purpose of the buyer agency in terms of the relationship between the listing and the buyer's agent. If you have any questions or if you want a copy of this form to include in your buyer's packet, let me know and I'm happy to send it over to you.